Hey family, I'm coming at you from bed with Lily. Let's see. Hi Lily. Hi Lily. Okay, so we're hanging out for New Year's. My mom came over to my sister's, which is where I am right now. And then everybody fell asleep. I went downstairs not long ago. I'm pretty tired. Some years I just like to go to sleep and wake up in the new year, especially when I'm up on the island, which is what I did the past 2 winters until this one. Anyway, my mom's laying on one side of the couch snoring. My sister's on the other side of the couch, buried under a heap of blankets and pillows that she'd brought down for my mom, all face smooshed in the pillow, all exhausted. My sister's husband is over on the couch watching YouTube videos, and he looks at me, I look at him, we just start laughing. I got on video, I'm not going to share it. Private collection only. Okay, so now I'm up in bed and I was about to go to bed. Yay, filters. And then I decided to tell you guys what had happened working with Mother Mary this month so I can pull a new card tomorrow. And also I figured I'd come in and check on you guys live because, New Year's Eve when you can't be around people is different. And for those of y'all who are used to going out, I miss going out, I miss partying, which is also why I'm being pretty good with the quarantine stuff because I want to be able to actually jam sooner. Okay, so this month I pulled Mother Mary as the goddess to work with this month, December. And before I pulled this card, hey humanity, nice to see you. Before I pulled this card, a couple weeks before, I was talking to one of my best friends, a girl also named Mary, and she is having some significant health stuff go down, like intense, right? And so I'm doing my work in the energy realm, spirit realm, and Mother Mary came to me. She did. And I said, I think that maybe you should go to a Catholic church and pray to a Mary shrine. And she said, we were sending each other videos on Marco Polo, which is a video messaging app. So apparently, hi guys, I see y'all saying hi, thanks for chiming in, checking in. So when she was watching my video that I just sent to her, it's not like a public social media thing, it's just you message one person at a time. Right after I said, go and hang out with Mother Mary, apparently her phone crashed the video messaging app, so Marco Polo went out, her music came on, and the song that came on was Let It Be by the Beatles, which if you know what Let It Be is about, it's talking about Mother Mary. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, singing words of wisdom, So that was cool. So she sends me back a message and tells me about this. As she's telling me, I'm driving in LA. I've got my phone on its little mount. And I pull up to a stoplight in a neighborhood that I don't drive through all that often, just getting from one place to another. I look out my window to the street of houses, the yards. Right exactly in my line of sight, someone has put a shrine to, guess who, Mary, on their front lawn, and I just happen to be staring directly at the Virgin Mary, or Mother Mary. And I was like, okay. Right as she was telling me this had happened, it's like, okay, got it. Thank you for being here. This is the way that the non-physical comes through and interacts with the physical. Ooh, there's a firework. Lily's like, I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm in LA, by the way, so I know y'all East Coasters are already in 2021. Okay, so then I pull the card for this month, and it's Mother Mary. This is like a couple weeks later, okay? Haven't thought about it much. Those of y'all who know me and follow my journey know that multidimensional, occult, or magical things happen to me all the time. It's what I've devoted my life to. So I don't necessarily keep a running log going of what's going on, because some of these things take years to fully finish their story. So at any given time, I don't necessarily have all the stuff right at the top of my head. So a couple weeks pass, I pull a card for December, which is Mother Mary. Okay, great. And then I'm like, oh, you guys, if you've seen the video, you know. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's your month. You know, everyone celebrates, everyone who is in the Christian world celebrates Christ's birth, and they celebrate it around the winter solstice. Even though he wasn't born around the winter solstice, that's when it's celebrated. And Mary's talked about some, especially if you're Catholic, yeah, but like, she was the one who did all the work. He just got born, right? But she had to do all the scary things to get him here. So I definitely appreciate that focus. So, okay. More synchronicities. So I posted the video pulling the card. And as you guys can see in the comments on that video, apparently a soul sister who was watching it had her phone drop the video, turn on music, and again, it was Let It Be by the Beatles about Mother Mary, right? So that's the second one. And I was like, oh my gosh, this just happened. So that was cool. And then lots of synchronicities this month. I was staying out in the desert for the solstice, and I was looking for a spot to go stretch my legs, and there was a oasis called Mary's Bowl, which is where I recorded the 2020 to 2021 video for you guys, the vlog. And I was like, yes, I have to go over there. And it was this lush oasis back in an in-between space between a couple of rocky mountains where there's kind of nothing but sand and some scrub bushes and the occasional tree, and then you find all these palm trees. I'm like, yes, exactly. So working with Mother Mary was really interesting. I would go meet up with her in my morning meditations after I'd finished most of what I do. I do some things for my own personal energy field, and then I go and check on a bunch of things going on in the astral realm that I kind of have a pulse on. And it was as if a grotto would appear, a stone grotto, and she would be there. She would kind of emerge, and we would talk and hang out and exchange energy healing or advice or whatever, various things depending on what was going on. And she came to me like a mother of a toddler, still breastfeeding. And this is going to make sense. My sister is in that, I'm in that world because my sister is a mother of a toddler who she's still breastfeeding. So it makes sense that archetype would come through. But also, I talked to lots of different women in lots of different stages. So interesting. But also, one of my favorite, not one of, the favorite chapel that I have is in St. Augustine, Florida, and it's our mother, Our Lady of Milk, La Leche. It's the oldest mission. It's Mission Dios in St. Augustine. It's the oldest cemetery, and in the phone's getting low on battery. In the little cemetery, there's this chapel that's covered in ivy. I've posted about it before. And inside, there's a few benches and the front shrine, which has a statue of Mary breastfeeding the baby Jesus. And you can find those kinds of statues. They're around. They're not super uncommon or anything, but it's not one of the ones you see most of all. And I've had some really amazing experiences in that chapel on the winter solstice the years when I was doing other spell work. So I was thinking about that. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Because she would come to me as a woman who was in the milk phase, right? So I would see her every morning. She was very kind. She was very, it's cool, but soft, like a queen is soft when you're in her kingdom. Not soft in any way that was submissive or negatively vulnerable. Soft in a way that was ultimately not even necessarily maternal toward me, just kind and compassionate and supportive. And I gave her healing work sometimes too, and that's cool, because a lot of times when I work with the deities and I'll be like, can I do something for you? Can I work on you some, they are surprised because people are usually asking them to give the people things. Speaking of, Christina, I see your comment saying suggestions for offerings for Mary on an altar. So I can tell you my opinion. I would say things that represent the lushness or the continuation of life. So this season, I can imagine like pine boughs, like pine needles. Of course, something with milk. I can imagine. I do not milk because I'm a plant-based person, but something like that. Her colors to me are blues and whites. So something like that. I don't usually tend to make offerings on altars to anyone just because that can get a little sketchy with how humans have done stuff. But I do have reminders that help me connect with that energy. So it was cool because on Christmas, she came to me and she was all blinged out. Like the stuff that she was wearing was all covered with these jewels, and she was like definitely exalted, and I could tell that people were praying to her, people were thinking of her. It was really neat. So all right, last thing that happened with it was this morning I said goodbye to her because today's the 31st. So I thanked her, said goodbye to her. She gave me some parting wisdom, and I left. And after that, I went to the beach to do yoga today, like I always do. And so I did my little same yoga routine that I've done for a bunch of years, same one, sitting there afterward, sitting there meditating, chillaxing on the beach. And people run and walk by. So I do yoga right by the water line, right where the water comes up to the shore, because I don't want to get everything wet because I have my whole blanket and all my stuff there. So I don't go where the water will splash me, but I basically as close as I can be without that. And that's the same as a lot of people's walking or jogging paths. So people will pass by every now and then. And then some very small percentage of those people are listening to audio where you can hear it, where they don't want to plug it directly into their ears. They just have like a cloud of sound around them, which is fine with me. So today I'm sitting meditating. One of these rarish people is on a morning jog or whatever. And I hear that there's a man's voice speaking. My eyes are closed. I can't really tell what's going on because I'm in my zone, but I do become aware of someone talking. And as soon as it gets into earshot to where I can actually hear what he's saying, I hear, "Hail Mary, Mother of Grace," and it's a Hail Mary prayer. And I was shook. This stuff happens to me all the time. But of all the things, I've heard people's stuff. I've never heard a prayer. I've never heard a Hail Mary prayer come through like that. And especially today, the last day I'm working with her, I'm like, thank you. This is when you wonder which gods, which entities are still alive, it's the ones that send stuff like that. Like that to me is proof to the way that I work that she's very real, and she was kind of giving me like peace sign, I'm here, everything's cool, love you, that kind of thing. And so that was really amazing. And those are my Mother Mary stories. And I'll say about belief making things real on Christmas Day. So I don't celebrate Christmas all that much. I like to exchange gifts. I like to do the middle of winter stuff. But actual Christmas Day, since I wasn't raised celebrating Christmas, it never really became much of a thing with my family. So now that there's a baby, we're kind of getting into it a little bit more, but it's just not much of a thing. So I was doing my normal life that day, and the world kind of shut down. So I'm, going over to the beach to yoga, that kind of thing. You guys, I could feel the love in the air. And this is not me having the Christmas spirit much myself, because like I said, I've had some crazy multidimensional experiences with that kind of thing, but it's not what I center my life around, that the whole Christmas, Christian holidays kind of things. So it wasn't coming from inside of me. It was coming from around me. I could feel the Christmas spirit in the air. I could feel all the love. I could feel all the difference. The sky was bluer. The water was cleaner. You could feel all the love that people have. It does stuff to the planet. So when people believe in things, my dad just sent a Happy New Year text through. Nice. He's an hour ahead of me. When you believe in things, when people believe in things, they become more real. And that also goes for you yourself. I'm about to lead a Meeting the Fairies class this spring. And ever since I decided to teach the class again, the fairies have been coming through everywhere. You just have to know how to see it and watch for it. And that's part of this. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go soon. That was my experience with Mother Mary. She was very soft, very lovely, very compassionate. Her energy said miracles. We'll see. The one main miracle that I was working on, I haven't heard the result yet. But it's that thin line between pushing what you can and also not getting caught up in expectations of how the magic is necessarily going to work. So anyway, these are my long johns that I've had for like 9 years. I hardly ever get to wear them, but we were having a pajama party tonight, so super excited about that. And now everyone's asleep. But I hope you guys have a great transition to 2021. This year has been crazy, and it continues to be. I've seen so many highs and lows, so many people having an amazing time and people not, and people dying, and a couple of elders. Oh, there's a firework. A couple of elders are on their way out in my world, and it just reminds you how life, even when you've lived a long life and even when it's slow enough that you can say goodbye and everything, it's never long enough. You always want more time. You always wish it will go on longer. So please don't take each other for granted. Don't take the time you have for granted. Don't forget how beautiful this world is. And I'm not just talking about what's going on with the people. You guys know. I mean the world. Go outside, look at the sky. Hang out with your animals. Hang out with the nature around you. Let's see what you guys are saying. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Christine. Grateful for you guys. And also, I just want to say thanks for all the love you guys have been sending me lately. It really helps. It's so nice because I felt more depression in this past month or two than ever. It felt like just this heaviness on my heart. Some days I just felt like my heart was just heavy. Was it mine? Was it collective? Who knows? Who cares? But doing this kind of work where you're guiding souls and saving souls can sometimes get really, really heavy. So sending you all a torch for the darkness, a candle for the darkness, matches that never go out unless you want them to, some soothing, cooling waters if your throat is parched, some warming, cozy elixirs if you're in a cold space. Yeah, Mara, your dad is battling cancer, sending him love, and you love. And if you haven't watched the documentary, The Beautiful Truth on YouTube, get into it. It's worth the watch. The Beautiful Truth. It's about the Gerson therapy. They sent a bunch of people home to die with stage 4 cancer and healed it that way. So it's worth just knowing everything you could know. So all y'all going through heavy times, reminding you you're not alone. Everybody goes through their stuff. Whether or not they show it, everybody goes through their stuff. And the whole point here is to be in community with one another so that we can support when we have the arms to support, and so that we can be supported when we need that too. Reminding you guys who have a rough time receiving that it feels really good to give. And if you're not receiving from people around you, then you never let them experience that really nice feeling. So allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to think outside the box. I got a couple good spells going on that should shift around 2021. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes and changes, you guys. Don't think change isn't going to keep happening. But know that change is always bringing in something better if you let it. So yeah, look around at your world. Say what do I need to shift in order to more clearly match what it is I'm desiring? If I'm skating along and it's great, then fantastic. There's definitely something to, hey Kiana, there's definitely something to just keeping the rhythm of the world. That's okay too. You don't always have to be in some huge transitional phase. If you're in a spot that you're just like in your stride, keeping it together, that's great too. Maris, I said change is always good. It always brings you upgrades if you let it. And so don't fight it. And if you want something to change, make sure you're changing stuff so that you can match what you're trying to call in. And also get really honest with yourself. See what you have been manifesting or allowing. Get your discernment on point. Don't feel bad for setting boundaries. People who have good energetic hygiene will support you in your glow. All right, good night from me, Lily. My phone's about to go dead. I want to save this video, so I'm going to let you guys go. Yeah, working with Mother Mary was beautiful. Really, really loved her sweet, kind, completely good energy. No shadow up in there, really. Just all bright, which I like shadow, you guys know. I hope you know. It's true. But sometimes it's nice to just have the completely dependable, all good vibes. That's what Mary was. So we'll see who's coming tomorrow for January. But reminding y'all to, maybe pull a card or two tonight. If you go with the Gregorian. If you go with the solstice, we've been in 2021 for a minute, so with the solar. But anyway, sending you guys 2021 blessings. Let's give you a Reiki pop. May you be guided to exactly where you're supposed to be. May the road there feel good to you. And may there be lots of unexpected gifts, oases, riches that are true riches, green, living, lush riches all along your path. All right. Love you guys. Bye.